Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. So before I start, can anyone please confirm whether my voice is clear, whether the screen is visible or not, right? Fine. So in the last session, right, as in yesterday's session, just I was briefing you about this Python Software Foundation. So non-profit organization devoted towards Python community was launched in the year 2001 to foster the development of Python. The president Guido van Rossum, headquarters Delaware, US, official website python.org, right? Python versions. Python 1.x version in the year 1989, Python 2.x version, 3.x version in the year 2008. Latest version of Python 3.11. Stable version of Python 3.9, mostly used version. Stable version is nothing but mostly used version, right? So Python execution modes. So I just showed you the installation process right in the last session, right? Python execution modes, right? So if anyone, if you're not attended the previous session, right, you can just in the chat panel, just after 10-15 minutes, the video links, right, of this yesterday's session will be provided in the chat panel. You can just go through it. Interactive mode and batch mode. There are two modes of execution. Interactive mode means we directly type Python statements, statement by statement, and we can easily interact with Python, right? To test the functionalities of Python and to learn Python, the advantage of this interactive mode. To test the functionalities of Python and for learning Python. Batch mode. Here we write set of statements within the editors or IDEs. Save it by using .py extension, let us submit to Python. So what are the various editors where we can write the Python code? Within the Windows environment, Notepad and Edit Plus, where we can write the Python code. And within this Linux, we have got VI and Nano editors. We have got what? VI and Nano editors. So we can write the Python code within the editors and also using IDEs. In real time, we go for IDEs, right? Integrated development environments. Integrated development environments, right? Yes. Yes. So what are the various IDEs, integrated development environments, right? PyCharm, which is the mostly used one. PyDev, Komodo, Spider, Eclipse, NetBeans, Jupyter Notebook, right? Jupyter Notebook, Atom, VS Code. Among all this, PyCharm is the mostly used IDE, right? Among all this, PyCharm is the mostly used one, right? So next, developing the first Python application. Developing the first Python application within a editor. Within a editor, right? Example like Notepad. Within the Notepad, how we can write a Python code and how to execute this Python code, right? Just open Notepad and type the following Python statements. Up to now, we didn't discuss anything about Python, right? Up to now, we didn't discuss anything about Python. Just we'll take two values and perform some kind of arithmetic operations, right? X value is 10, Y value is 20. print x plus y, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Yes. So just I'll copy this the statements, right, into a separate notepad file. I'll copy this to a separate notepad file. Within the notepad file, just I'm writing this. So within the notepad, I'm writing this Python statements. X value is 10, y is 20. I'm printing this x plus y, x minus y. Save it. File, save. So Python, so save it as sample one dot py. Save it as sample one dot py extension. So here, save as sample one dot py. Save as sample one dot py, and now submit this file. Save as sample one dot py, and now submit this file to Python as. Submit this file to Python as. Okay. Go to this command prompt. CMD. Just type Python. Don't say enter. If you say enter, it will go to interactive mode. And submit your Python file within the where this your Python file is available. Within the C drive. Yes. Within this Python 10 p.m. batch. Within this Python 10 p.m. batch. Within that, your file name sample1 dot py. So here we need to give the Python file name, in which folder and in which drive. Submit the entire path to Python. Go to command prompt, type Python, and give the entire path where your file is available. Say enter. Say enter. 10 plus 20, 10 minus 20, 10 into 20, 10 by 20. Observe here, within the notepad, you have written this code, x is 10, y is 20. You are performing addition x plus y, x minus y, x into y, x by y. Right. You have saved it as sample1.py. Within the notepad, you have saved it as .py extension. Now, how will you submit that file to Python? Go to command prompt, type Python, and give the path where your file is available. It gives the output 10 plus 20, 10 minus 20, 10 into 20, 10 by 20. Okay, fine. So Python, you need to type Python, right? Here, what is your observation? We are writing the code at one place. We are writing the code here. What is your, here we are writing the code at one place. Where you are writing the code? Within the notepad. Within the notepad you have written. And executing the code at the other place. And executing the code at the other place. Where you are executing? within the command prompt. But to write and execute at the same place, to write and execute at the same place, we have IDLE, Integrated Development Learning Environment, right? Which comes along with Python installation. Which comes along with Python installation, using which we can write and execute at the same place. Okay. So here, what is that? You are taken a notepad, you have written some statement to variables 10 and 20, and you are performing addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. You are going to the command prompt and you are typing Python and specifying the path where the file is available. It is displaying the output. But here, what is the drawback? We are writing at one notepad and executing in the command prompt, but I want to write and execute at the same place. We have IDLE. So I'm copying the same code. So how to open this IDLE, and how can I write the code at one place and execute at the same place? So at the bottom, search, type IDLE. You got this IDLE Python 3.11. Click it. You get this Python shell. You get this Python shell, right? Or you can go to the start programs, check where your Python is available in the installed apps. Python 3.11. Here you can see this IDLE, the first thing, right? Click it. Python shell gets open in this way also. This interactive mode, you can interact statement by statement, 3 plus 4. It gives the output. So in this way, any valid statements you can type and check, it gives the, but I want to work with batch mode, not with interactive mode. So say file, new file, new file. Write your code here. Write the code here itself, and here run option is there. Run the code here itself. So before you run, save it. Run module, right? Check this. 10 plus 20, 10 minus 20, 10 into 20, 10 by 20. So we are writing here itself, and here run module. We are writing and executing at the same place. 10 plus 20, 10 minus 20, 10 into 20, 10 by 20. Okay. So just use this IDLE. So at the search, type IDLE and say enter. Your Python shell gets opened in this way. But here you won't see the run option, where you will see whenever you open, for most of you, again I'm saying, if you open this file, new file, write your code here and run your code here. You can see run here. Okay. So just you can check this. So later I'll be showing you how to run this Python code with different IDEs. Once after doing little bit of technical content, I'll show you how to download, how to install, how to write the code and execute the code in real-time IDs. Yes. Next is Python data types and variables. Python data types and variables. Data types and variables. Every organization Every organization use case has got data and operations, has got data and operations. Okay, you can see, right, the videos, the previous videos, right? If you're anyone not done with the demo session, right? And just to go through the video, demo video 1, 2, and 3, and the course content. So that's given by this. The link for the course content demo videos link you can see in the chart panel provided by this online team, and the payment process and details also provided in that, right? Yes. So every organization use case has got data and operations. Data, generally data represented using data types or variables. Operations represented using functions. Data represented using data types or variables. Operations represented using functions. So if you take any organization, if you take the example of a bank has got data and operations. Data means like customer account number, customer name, balance, branch, right? And operations like deposit operation, withdraw operation, transfer operations, right? So data represented using data types or variables, operations using functions. So now data types and variables I'll be discussing, right? So Python, see if we compare C or C++ or Java comparison with Python. C++, Java comparison with Python. Python supports dynamic data types. It supports what? Dynamic data types. Python supports dynamic data types. See, if we compare in C, C++, Java, if you want to define a variable like x as 10, without defining, I need to say int x. Y equal to 4.5, I need to say float y. Z equal to some HELLO, I need to say like string. Without this data type defining, these variables x, y, z can't be created in other programmings. But in Python, directly I can say x as 10, y as 4.5, z as hello. No need to define this int or float or string. Dynamic data types. What kind of variable x is means based on the data type defining, you are saying it as int. What type of variable y is means it is float type. What type of variable z is means it is of string type.
But in Python, can we decide variables, sir? Is it possible?
In Python, so
Yeah.
in 1 second, I'm coming to it. In Python, no need to define this. What kind of variable x means here? It based on this data type defining, you are saying int. What kind of variable y is means you are saying float based on this data. But here in Python, what kind of variable x is means what value you are assigning to it. If you are assigning a integer variable, the integer variable is whenever you are assigning a integer variable is going to get created dynamically. If you are assigning a float value, a float variable is created. If you're assigning a string value, means based upon what value you are assigning, based on the value assigned, the variable gets created dynamically. So here in Python, there is a function called type function. Type of x is int type. Why it is int type? because you assigned a integer value. Yes. Type of X is integer type. Type of Y is what type? Float. Why it is float type? Because you assigned a float value means something in decimals. 4.5. Type of Z is what type? String type, because you assigned a string of characters. So observe here, what value you are assigning? Integer value, the type will be integer type. Float value means something in decimals, right? Float. But no need to say like int x or float where string set. Dynamic data types means based upon what value you are assigning, the variables are created dynamically, right? Yes. To make you understand much better, right? I'm going to discuss 4 cases here. Case 1. Try to understand here. Case 1. What happens internally when you define some variable in Python? Whenever you say like x equal to 10, internally, one object with value 10 gets created. It is going to occupy some physical memory location address. That address is given to x. Try to understand here what x is storing. Don't say x is storing the 10. X stores the address. So whenever 3 things need to understand here. Print x means it goes to this address and prints whatever present at that address. Prints the content at that address. What is the content at that address? 10. And if you want to print the address only, id of x, there is a function called id. id of x means prints the address of x. What is the address of x? Next. Print type of x. If you want to know that data type, prints the data type of x. What data type it is? Integer. You have assigned an integer value to x, so the data type will be integer type. So understand here, print x means prints the content 10. If you want to print the address, id of x. If you want to print the type of x, data type, integer type. So printing the content, printing the address, printing the data type. Try to understand these 3 things. So any variable, if you want to print the content, print x. If you want to print the address, id of x. If you want to print the data type, type of x. Okay. Observe this case 2. Observe this case 2. And from here on, I want the sessions to be interactive, right? Everyone try to interact and try to give your responses. You can unmute yourself and try to give your response through voice. Or you can also give your response through chat panel. You can also type your response in the chat. So you can unmute yourself and give your responses, right? Yes. Case 2.
So, like you will see, how much memory it occupies, sir, for integer.
So in Python, 1 second. In Python, everything is a class. Integer is a class, float is a class, string is a class. All are classes. There is no fixed size like other programmings like C or Java. In C, integer occupying like 2 bytes. In Java, integer occupying like 4 bytes. In Python, there is no fixed size for integer. Case 2, observe this and try to answer everyone. X value is 10, Y is 20. How many objects will be created here? Everyone, try to give your responses. How many objects? For 10, one object. For 20, two objects, right? This is going to have its address, memory location address. It is stored in some memory address. Right. Yes. Unmute yourself and try to give a response. What is print x? Yes, everyone try to give a response. Print x equal to what?
10.
10.
10.
10. So if I want to print the address, where exactly it is?
103070.
1030. So here just I have given that some value, but actually where exactly it is stored, that address it is going to return. And what is the type? What data type it is?
Integer.
Type of x is integer. Print y is what type? Print y.
Integer.
Print y means what is that value? I'm sorry.
20.
Print address. Address of y is what?
104090.
Yes. If you want to print the type, what data type y is?
Integer.
Integer.
Because you are assigning integer value to it. So the type will be integer type. Okay. So fine, that's fine. Two different variables x and y with two different values 10 and 20 with two different objects with two different addresses. Try to understand this. Two different variables, two different values, two different objects, two different addresses, right? This case 2. Now observe this case 3. Any query in case 2, anyone?
So, what if later in the code that I change the value x to say hello? Then in that case, what will get changed? I mean, value print x will be hello, and address will remain same, and the type will be string. Is that so, or is there any conflict between that?
Okay.
So can I like first of all, can I like change the type later in the code? First of all, I'm having that x equal to 10, and later in the code, can I have this x equal to hello?
So whenever x equal to hello means a new object gets created with its address, and hello is stored in this way.
Okay, so what about okay, so what will happen to that address 103070 when x was equal to 10?
Actually, your query is case 4. What I'm going supposed to discuss in
Okay.
case 4, right? Yes, I'll come back to in the case 4.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
So next case 3, right? Observe this case 3. Everyone try to observe. X value is 10. Y value is 10. Try to answer here, everyone. How many objects will be created here? Everyone, try to give a response.
2.
How many objects here? Yes. Observe carefully here, only one object is created. Only one object with value 10 is created with some address. Before creating object for Y, it checks any object with value 10 if it is already available in the memory. The same address will be given to Y. X is 10, Y is 10, Z is 10 means don't think three objects with value 10, 10, 10 will be created. Only one object with 10 will be created in the memory. The address will be given to X, Y, and Z. Don't think like duplicate objects will be created with 10, 10, and 10. No. So what is your observation here? If the values are same, only one object. If the values are 10, 20, and 30, how many objects?
One.
If the X is 10, Y is 20, Z is 30.
Then 3.
Three objects then. Now if the values are same, 10, 10, and 10, only one object.
So yeah, I pretty much got the answer of my previous question in this case then.
Okay. In the case 4, you will get much more better. So print, okay, observe here, X, Y, and Z, they are sharing the same content. They are sharing the same address. So I can say like this, right? Print X, or if we say print Y, or if we say like print Z, all they are going to print what is that? 10. And if you want to print the address, ID of X, print ID of Y, print ID of Z, what is it? 103070. And the type of X, type of Y, type of Z also will be integer type. If the values are same, only one object, only one address. Yes. Observe this case for I'll show you all these 4 cases practically today, right? Fine. All these 4 cases I'll show you practically. X value is 10. Later slowly I modify X value is 20. How many objects are created here? X value 10, X value 20. How many objects are created?
2.
1 or 10, 1, 0, 3, 0. Yes, everyone try to give whether your answers are correct or wrong, try to keep responding, right? Everyone through voice or through chat. X is 10, X is 20. How many objects? 2 objects will be created with 2 different addresses. That's fine. But whenever you say print X, try to say what is the X value it prints. Whether it will print a 10 or whether it will print 20 or will it print both or what?
20.
10.
Your salary last year was 50,000. Your salary in current year 80,000. Print salary means what is the salary it prints? Latest salary or last year salary?
Latest.
Current
Updated.
latest salary it prints, right? So here also X value was 10. Slowly later you modified the X value to 20. X value was 10 previously, but slowly you modified X to 20. So the latest value 20 only will be printed. And if you want to print the address, ID of X prints the address 104. What happens to the previous object? Is there any possibility of printing its address and its value? Is there any possibility of printing the value of this previous object 10 and its address? To know what happened to the previous object, there is a small concept we need to discuss, right? Garbage collector. It's too early to discuss that concept, but just I will give overview as of it. Later we discuss in brief during that concept about this garbage collector. Garbage collector. To make you understand about this garbage collector, I'll go back to this case 3. Garbage collector. Garbage collector removes unused or unreferred objects from the memory. See, garbage collector removes unused or unreferred objects from the memory. So what do you mean by unused or unreferred objects? What do you mean by unused or unreferred objects? Objects whose reference count becomes 0. Objects whose reference count becomes 0. We call them as unused or unreferred objects. Objects whose reference count becomes 0, then immediately those objects gets removed from the memory. Gets removed from the memory automatically by garbage collector. Understand this? Objects whose reference count becomes 0, then immediately those objects gets removed from the memory automatically by garbage collector. You may ask, what is this reference count and how it becomes 0? Reference count. Nothing but number of variables pointing to an object.
Incremental, where?
One second, I'll just show you with some example. Number of variables pointing to an object will give the reference count. Or number of variables storing address of a object. So to make you understand about this, go to this example to understand what. See here, how many variables are pointing to this object 10? X is pointing, Y is pointing, Z is pointing. X is storing this address, Y is storing this address, Z is storing. How many variables are pointing to that object 10? And how many variables are storing the address of that object 10? 3 variables, right? Hello? Try to answer. How many variables are pointing to this object 10? Yes. 3. So what is the reference count of this object, right?
3.
The reference count is what? 3.
3.
3 variables, X is pointing, Y is pointing, Z is pointing. So reference count is 3. Understood what is reference count here? X is storing its object address, Y is pointing, Z is pointing. But observe here, how come this reference count becomes 0? How come the reference count becomes 0 and how this objects removed from the memory? Yes, observe here, X. Y value was 10. Slowly I modified the Y value to 20. Slowly I modified the Y value to 20. One object 20, some address. The address is given to Y. Means Y is equal to 20 means new object created and Y is pointing to the new object. Y is not pointing to this object now. Slowly you modified the Y value to 20. Y is made to point to the new object and Y is not pointing to this. What is the reference count of this object? 10.
2.
2, right? Now it's 2. Only X and Z are pointing now. Y is pointing to a new object. Slowly I am modified the Z value to 30. One object 30 with some address. The address is given to Z. So Z is pointing to the new object now. Z is not pointing to this. Previously, Z was pointing to this. Z is pointed to the new object. What is the reference count in this object now?
1.
Only one. One variable X only is pointing, right? Y and Z, they are pointing to the two different objects. Now, slowly I modified the X value also to 50. A new object 50 created with some address. That address is stored by X. Now X is pointing to the new object 50. Now X is not pointing to this. What is the reference count? Hello?
0.
0.
No variables are pointing to this object 10. Unreferred object it is, unused object it is. So garbage collector, whenever any object reference count becomes 0, immediately garbage collector removes this object from the memory. Understood what do you mean by unused, unreferred object? When a object becomes unreferred, whenever its reference count becomes 0. When an object gets removed, whenever its reference count becomes 0. Whenever any object reference count becomes 0, then immediately those object gets removed from the memory. Understood now, everyone? What is garbage collector? What is reference count? How it becomes 0? And when it gets removed. Just this is an overview I have given about the garbage collector. Later in our course, I'll be discussing in brief about this garbage collector with multiple examples to just make you understand what happened to this object, right? Now, based on this, everyone, have you understood this, right? Case 3, this garbage
Yes.
collector reference count.
Yes.
Okay. So, based on this understanding, we go back to this case 4. Forget about that X equal to 20 for some time. Say about the X equal to 10. What is the reference count of this object? What is the reference count? How many variables are pointing?
1.
0.
1. Slowly, I modified the X value to 20. Now a new object is created with value 20. Now X is pointing to this new object. Now X is not pointing to this. Now what is the reference count?
1.
0. Here X is pointing to the new object 20. X is not pointing to this now. Reference count became 0. Only X was pointing to this. Now X is made to point to the new object 20. So reference count became 0. Immediately this object gets removed. Just before I was asking you, right? Always print X means it is printing the latest value 20. What happens to the previous object 10 means it gets removed by the garbage collector, right? So, yes. So I'll be discussing about all these 4 cases practically. Just I'll take 5 minutes. I'll be showing you all these 4 cases practically. Case 1. So whenever you are saying hash means it is a comment. Comment in Python means it's not executable. Case 1. Defining a variable. Defining a variable X equal to 10. I want to print its content means print X. I want to print its address where exactly it is stored means ID of X. I want to print its data type, what it is like type of X. So these 3 things we will print for a variable, right? Yes. Voice clear to all? Can anyone please confirm once again?
Yes, sir.
Run module, right? Yes. So observe this, both I'm keeping side by side. Print X means 10. Address of X means where exactly it is to the address it is printing. Type of X means int type. Class int. Everything are class in Python. Now, case 2. I'll copy the same thing. If you want to write another code, another program code, file, new file again, a new one opens, and the things you can write here. Case 2. Case 2 is what? X value is 10 and Y is 20. Two different variables x5 with two different values. Defining two different variables with two different values. Then two different objects gets created. Defining two different variables with two different values, then two different objects gets two different variables with two different values, then two different objects gets created with two different addresses. Print X, address of X, type of X. The three things I'll copy for this Y. Print Y, address of Y, type of Y. Type will be integer types only. Print X means 10, print Y means 20. The address of X and address of Y, will it be same or different addresses? Right,
Different.
Different.
different addresses, right? Yes. 10, print Y, 20. The X is 10, 20. Addresses, you see, different addresses. This is case 2. Case 3. File, new file. What is case 3? X is 10, Y also 10. X value 10, Y value also 10. Only one object will be created, right? Two different variables with same values. Then only one object gets created. Only one object gets created and its address is returned to both. X is 10, Y is 10. Now try to answer it, everyone. Save it first. Print X 10, print Y also 10. Type is in integer. Address of X and address of Y, will it be same or different here?
Same.
It has to be same, right? It must be same because the values are same. Only one object, only one address, right? Everyone. Next, the last case. Case 4. Defining the two variables with same. X value is 10, X value is 20. Two variables, defining two variables. With same name. Two variables with same name. But with different values. two variables with same name but with different values. Two different objects gets created. And the previous one gets removed. Okay. Two variables with same name but with different values, then two different objects gets created. The previous one gets removed. X value is 10. Print X means the latest value. Address of X means this 20. Type of X is integer, right? Yes. Run module. Content, its address and its type. Understood all these four cases, anyone? Everyone, have you understood all these four cases?
Yes, sir.
Any query in these four cases? I got one query in this case 3. So I got some query in this case 3. If X value is 10, Y is 10.0. Type of X, type of Y is what type? Everyone, try to answer. Type of Y is what type?
Float type.
Means here address of X and address of Y, will it be same or different?
Different.
Because here integer object, here float object. Two different objects, two different addresses. 10 and 10.0 are not same. Right? Observe this object. Two different addresses. See that addresses, different address, right? Integer type, float type. That you need to understand. Just I'll take 2 more minutes. So understood, right, all these four cases. So coming to this data types. Data types are of two types. Fundamental data types and a collection data types. So just fundamental data types means objects holding single value. Object holding single value. Example, X equal to 10 means one object created with value 10 with some address. The address given to X means here object holding single value. Object holding single value here. So collection data types means the name itself saying collection of values, group of values, set of values. Yes. Object holding group of values or set of values. Example, X equal to squared bracket 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. For this also, one object will be created. Within this object, you can see multiple values 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. It's going to have some address, the address given to X. So here, object to holding multiple values, collection data type. Object holding single value, fundamental data type. So just 1 second, just 1 minute. So just I'll, what are the various fundamental data types? Fundamental data types mainly are of 5 types. Integer, float, Boolean, string, complex. Integer, float, Boolean, string, and complex.
Non-type, sir.
Integer. So mainly these are of 5 types. The other types, okay. Mainly in fundamental data types are of 5 types. Age, example, age 25. Integer, age 25. Float, height 6.3, something in float. Boolean means which returns either true or false. String, sequence collection of characters. Hyderabad, sequence collection of characters. Complex means in general mathematics you should have seen x plus iy, a plus ib, x plus iy, or a plus ib. But in Python, instead of 5, we need to use j. Okay, so integer, float, but we have got a lot of discussion on string there. String indexing, string slicing, string functions, string methods, and string special characters, right? I'll be discussing more on these strings. Collections, collection data types mainly are of 4 types. Mainly there are of 4 types of collections. List, tuple, set, dictionary. So I'll be discussing more than I'll be discussing for 1 week on this collection data types, collections, right? List, list indexing, list functions, list methods, list addresses, nested list, list modifications, right? Similarly for tuple, sets, and dictionaries, like we'll have 1 week of discussion on this list, tuple, sets, and dictionaries. List is
Frozen set. Frozen set is there.
so frozen set also available, but mainly these are the 4 collections. Frozen set, like it's a kind of a function, right? Tuple. Okay. I'll discuss about the frozen set, but the collections mainly are of 4 types only. Dictionaries, collection of key and value. See, example, list of values means x equal to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Tuple, by seeing the braces only, should identify. Squared bracket means list. Normal braces, tuple. Curly braces means set. Okay, for this tuple example, y equal to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Couple of values. Next set of values means right hand. Z equal to set 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. By seeing the braces, you should identify. Next dictionary. W equal to dictionary of, for example, name, Ajay, age, 25. This is key, this is value. This is key and this is value. This is key and this is value. Key value representations, key and value, key and value. City, Hyderabad, it's a key and value. Collection of key value pairs, we call it like a dictionary, right? So we have got a lot of discussions on these collections. We'll be discussing in brief about this. Fine. So fundamental data types, collection types. So a lot of discussion on string. Tomorrow my discussion will be on the string data type, right? Fine. Any queries as part of today's session, anyone? Fine. Tomorrow also you can attend the session, right? So same time at 10 o'clock using the same link, and tomorrow will be that from day after tomorrow, the link is going to change. So you need to get enrolled for getting that link, right? New link. So tomorrow you can follow the same link, same time to see more discussion on this, right? Fine. So group, WhatsApp group will be created day after tomorrow once the link is changed, right? So from the students who got enrolled, a WhatsApp group will be created day after tomorrow. Notes you will be getting from day after tomorrow. Videos you can see from last 3 days, the videos you can see in the chart, right? There in the chart panel, the videos are available. Videos links are given. Payment details are given, right? And this course content link is given, and that contact details of this online team. And just check with this contact details of the online team, right? Those are given, those are provided, right? Don't forget to send the screenshot of your payment. Don't forget to send the screenshot of your payment to the DURGASOFT online training at Gmail. It is mentioned in that message. And about the payment details, about that video links, you will be getting a mail also to your mail IDs. Yes. Fine. So tomorrow you can attend the session, more discussion on this, right? Yes, yes. Yes, Rosina, right? You can just give your responses to chat, not a problem. So if anyone, if you've got some background noise or anything unable to, you can give your response through chat panel, right? Yes. Otherwise, you can just unmute yourself and you can give your responses through voice. So about this phone pay or Google Pay, right? You can just check that message, right? They have given Google Pay or Phone Pay number. Yes, they have given the Phone Pay or Google Pay number also provided. Yes. You can see in the chart, right? Yes. Yeah. So if you want only Python, it's a offer batch for only 5,000, right? It will be like 70 hours. We'll be discussing in brief, in depth about each step by step. And if you want total full stack Python, it's the fee structure is 10K. That is also an offer, right? If you go separately Python and Django, it will be like 12K. But at a time, if you are paying, it will be like 10K. Where Python, core advanced application oriented modules, Django framework, UI technologies will be covered along with project, right? Yes. So I'm stopping for here. We'll continue tomorrow. More discussion on this. Thank you all for your time. Meet you tomorrow, right? So if you got any queries from tomorrow, right, you can ask then and there itself. Whether you can type in the chat. Don't wait up to the end of the session for your queries, right? If anything, then and there you can ask. Otherwise, you can just type that your query in the chat. I will just see and respond it, right? Then and there, right? No need to wait up to the end of this. Fine. Fine. So I'm stopping here. We'll continue tomorrow. Okay. So thank you. Good night all.